This is how you turn a KML shapefile into a drone video overlay. Like you see in the video here, here's the finished product. So I looked for a KML to SVG converter on Google and used this at Expose. Drag your KML in, then you can download the SVG file. Generate and click download. Pop this into Adobe Illustrator, set your fill to empty, and then set the stroke to something visible, high vis colors, orange, red, yellow, green, and then increase the stroke weight so you can see it better. And then I used a dashed line just as a style preference. You can mess around with these settings, it's really personal preference. Then we're going to do File, Save As, and you want to save it as an EPS. Saving it as an EPS is going to make it compatible with the Adobe After Effects. Set your new composition in After Effects to the footage size. I have 1080p footage, so 1920 by 1080. Drag in your footage from the drone. Here's the drone footage. Next we're going to track the camera. Animation, track camera. This takes a little while, I sped this up. Once we have that set, we're then going to pick a plane. So these show planes on our footage. Pick the one that most correlates with the actual ground plane, the orientation of the ground plane. Here I find this seems to align best. Create solid in camera. That's right click, create solid in camera. Right click, pre-compose. Click OK. Then we're going to drag our EPS in. Control X to cut it. Double click on the pre-composition and Control V to paste. Center it as best as you can. Increase the composition size to fit the KML. Here I have to increase the height to fit the KML as best as possible. Then we're going to delete that track solid that's behind it, that bright green solid. Highlight and delete. Go over to our original composition, and you can see here it's already tracking with the ground. From here it's just a lot of finesse and kind of just messing with the settings to get it how you like. You can drag along the Y plane. Y is forward and back, X left and right, and the Z plane is up and down. Drag this into position that looks best for a good starting point. It's looking pretty good here. Just make little adjustments. The rest is really up to you. It's how much time you want to spend adjusting, rotating. We can pull down this menu, try to rotate it as best as possible to fit. These little stopwatches on the left are for keyframes. You can select one of them if you want to animate the rotation, which I'll show shortly. I end up using it for the positioning. This I'm kind of speeding up just to get through. It's personal preference, really, this part. And then here I'm going to set a keyframe for the position because you see it gets a little bit out of the boundaries. Set it at the end of the position you want, then go back to the beginning. And the keyframe is going to set once you move that KML. It's already set a keyframe. You can see by the markers in the timeline. Now this is going to animate the position, basically a smooth vector from the beginning to the end. Again, just more micro adjustments and just personal preference how much you want to do this. This is easiest with flat planes, obviously. And you can do this with any type of camera movement, rotation, panning, zooming. It'll all be tracked in After Effects. Here's our finished product. It's not perfect, but it definitely gets the job done. Can make more little adjustments. You see it gets out of alignment there, but for the sake of this tutorial, just gonna leave it as is. I already sold this property, so it just was an experiment. And then export as an MP4 and you're good to go.